Look at this pathetic metal leg, man. You are taking up space in the VIP section with this rusty garbage. Get your crippled self out of here and go back to rehab where you belong. You absolute piece of trash. Have you ever witnessed something so blatantly disgusting that it makes your blood boil? If you believe in standing up to bullies and defending human dignity, hit that subscribe button right now. And do me a favor, drop a black excellence in the comments below. To stand with those who refuse to be broken by ignorance. Because what this arrogant, phone-wielding gym rat doesn't know is that he just ruined his entire life. To understand the magnitude of the mistake this bully just made, we have to rewind the clock. Meet Marcus. Marcus was not born with a silver spoon in his mouth, nor did he inherit a massive trust fund. A few years ago, a devastating accident took his right leg. For most people, that kind of trauma would be the end of the road. It would be an excuse to give up, to shrink away from the world, and to let bitterness take over. But Marcus is built differently. He possesses this incredibly positive, magnetic charisma that draws people in. He is a fast learner, someone who absorbs knowledge like a sponge. More importantly, he is a man of his word. He says what he is going to do, and then he actually goes out and does it. He has absolutely no fear of failure. Every setback is just fuel for his burning passion to succeed. With a relentless mindset focused on personal growth and building wealth, he set his sights on achieving ultimate financial freedom. He wanted to create a safe space for people to transform their bodies and minds. So, he started investing. He worked 80 hours a week, saving every penny, studying the market, and learning the ins and outs of commercial real estate. He didn't just want to be comfortable. He wanted to build an empire, and that is exactly what he did. Fast forward to today. Marcus is the sole owner of a multi-million-dollar chain of elite fitness centers across the state. But despite his massive success, he remains incredibly humble. He doesn't wear flashy designer clothes or walk around with an entourage of bodyguards. He still shows up at 5 in the morning to work out alongside the everyday members. He quietly observes his facilities, making sure everything is running smoothly. He loves being in the trenches, feeling the energy of the gym floor. That brings us back to this very morning. It is a typical Tuesday in the exclusive free weight zone of his flagship location. The air is thick with the smell of iron and sweat. Marcus is quietly going about his rehabilitation routine on a specialized leg press machine. He is focused, breathing heavily, pushing through the phantom pain that never truly goes away. He is just minding his own business, wearing a plain gray hoodie and faded sweatpants. Enter Chad. Chad is the textbook definition of a toxic gym bro. He is a towering mountain of muscle, heavily tattooed, and dripping with an unearned sense of superiority. He considers himself the apex predator of this facility, just because he pays a premium membership fee. Chad is currently obsessed with a toxic new social media trend. It is called gym creeping. Basically, guys like him walk around secretly filming other members, mocking their form, their bodies, or their clothes, just to get cheap likes and validation on the internet. Chad is live streaming right now to his thousands of followers. He is hunting for his next victim. His predatory eyes scan the room and lock onto Marcus. He sees a black man with a prosthetic leg, occupying a machine that he wants to use for his vanity mirror selfies. Chad doesn't see a human being trying to improve his health. He sees an easy target. He sees a prop for his cruel online entertainment. He swaggers over, his phone held high, the camera flash intentionally glaring right into Marcus's eyes. The heavy bass of the gym music seems to fade into the background as Chad invades Marcus's personal space. He doesn't ask to work in. He doesn't ask how many sets Marcus has left. Instead, he intentionally kicks Marcus's gym bag out of the way. He shoves his phone right into Marcus's face. This is the exact moment where our story began. Chad's voice echoes through the silent weight room. Look at this pathetic metal leg, man. You are taking up space in the VIP section with this rusty garbage. Get your crippled self out of here and go back to rehab where you belong. You absolute piece of trash. The entire free weight area goes dead silent. Dumbbells hit the rubber floor with a heavy thud. People stop mid-rep, their jaws dropping in absolute disbelief. The sheer audacity and cruelty of Chad's words hang in the air like a poisonous cloud. But what is even more disturbing is the reaction of the crowd. Nobody steps in. Nobody tells Chad to back off. They just watch, paralyzed by the awkwardness of the confrontation. Some even pull out their own phones, ready to record a fight. If you are watching this and feeling that familiar knot of anger in your stomach, you are not alone. We need to drown out this kind of toxic hate. Take a second right now to type Black Excellence in the comments. Let's flood this video with positivity and show that true strength comes from the mind, not just the muscles. And if you haven't subscribed yet, you will definitely want to hit that button now, because the way Marcus handles this situation is an absolute masterclass in psychological warfare. The camera captures every single drop of sweat on Chad's forehead. He is grinning wildly, soaking up the virtual validation from the chat on his phone screen. Yeah, guys, look at this. They let anybody into these luxury clubs nowadays. We pay thousands a year for exclusivity. And we get this. He scoffs, pointing directly at Marcus's prosthetic limb. The level of disrespect is completely off the charts. You can literally feel the tension radiating off the mirrored walls. A young trainer nearby looks away, too intimidated by Chad's massive physique to intervene. An older woman on a treadmill gasps and covers her mouth. This is the reality of the world we live in. People are so desperate for 5 seconds of internet fame that they will sacrifice every ounce of their humanity. They will tear down someone who is already fighting a battle they know nothing about. Marcus slowly wipes his face with a towel. His expression is unreadable. Inside, the fire of 1,000 suns is burning. But on the outside, he is an ocean of calm. He knows exactly who he is. He knows exactly what he has built, and he knows exactly how this is going to end. Chad laughs, a harsh, grating sound that cuts through the tension in the room. He turns his phone screen toward Marcus so he can see the live chat scrolling by. Look at this, chat. We have over 10,000 people watching right now, and they all agree with me. They are all saying you need to pack up your little metal toys and wheel yourself out of here. He steps even closer, his shadow falling over Marcus. The smell of cheap cologne and aggressive pre-workout powder is overwhelming. Seriously, bro. Do you even know how much a membership costs at a place like this? This is a sanctuary for the elite. We don't want to look at your struggle session while we are trying to get a pump. Chad is practically spitting as he speaks, his veins popping out of his neck. He flexes his massive biceps, trying to look as intimidating as possible for his viewers. He pans the camera up and down Marcus's body, intentionally zooming in on the intricate mechanics of the prosthetic leg. It is a blatant, disgusting display of discrimination. He is not just insulting Marcus's physical condition, he is attacking his dignity, his right to exist in a public space, and his humanity. And he is doing it all for a few cheap laughs and digital validation from strangers on the internet. Look around the room in this moment. Dozens of people, all incredibly fit, all supposedly strong, and yet not a single one of them has the backbone to say a word. They avert their eyes. They pretend to adjust their headphones. They suddenly become very interested in their water bottles. A few members actually look ashamed, their faces turning red, but fear keeps their mouths shut tight. They know they are witnessing something deeply wrong, but the fear of social media destruction is paralyzing. This is the chilling reality of the bystander effect. People are terrified of becoming the next target of viral outrage. They would rather let an innocent man be humiliated than risk their own social standing. But we do not have to accept that reality. If you are sitting at home right now, gripping your phone, wishing someone would step up and put this guy in his place, then you are part of the solution. Take a stand with us right now. Scroll down and type Black Excellence in the comments to drown out this kind of toxic behavior. Let's show the algorithm that we reward integrity, not bullying. And while you are down there, hit that subscribe button, because I promise you, the way this story unfolds is going to be the most satisfying thing you watch all week. Now, back to the weight room. Most people in Marcus's position would break. They would yell, they would cry, or they would just grab their things and run away in shame. But Marcus is not most people. He doesn't flinch. He doesn't break eye contact. He just sits there on the padded seat of the leg press machine, perfectly still. A slow, almost imperceptible smile begins to form on the corner of his lips. It is not a smile of submission. It is the smile of a chess grandmaster who just realized his opponent has walked directly into a checkmate. Chad notices the smile, and it absolutely infuriates him. "What are you smiling at? You piece of garbage. Do you think this is funny? I am exposing you to the whole world right now." Chad shoves the phone closer, the camera lens practically brushing against Marcus's nose. He is desperate to get a reaction, desperate for a soundbite that he can clip and post on his social media for 1 million views. But what Chad, with all his muscles and all his arrogance, fails to realize is that he is currently digging his own grave. He is streaming live from inside the most exclusive, high-security zone of a private facility, a facility with a zero-tolerance, strict, no-recording policy designed to protect the privacy of its high-profile clientele. Not only that, but he is actively harassing a disabled individual, which is a direct violation of federal laws and the Americans with Disabilities Act. He is broadcasting a hate crime in real time, in high definition, with his own face and voice attached to it. Marcus knows this. He knows the employee handbook backwards and forwards because he personally wrote it. He knows the exact legal precedent for this kind of behavior. So, he lets Chad keep talking. He lets him dig the hole deeper and deeper. Every insult, every threatening gesture, every zoom in on his prosthetic leg is just another piece of undeniable, recorded evidence. After a full 2 minutes of unhinged ranting, Chad finally pauses to catch his breath. He looks at his phone, expecting to see a flood of supportive comments. The gym is so quiet you can hear the hum of the air conditioning vents. Marcus slowly reaches over to his gym bag resting on the floor. Chad flinches slightly, thinking Marcus might be grabbing a weapon. "Hey, keep your hands where I can see them," Chad barks, trying to maintain his tough guy persona. Marcus ignores him. He doesn't pull out a weapon. He simply lifts his left wrist. Strapped to his wrist is a sleek, black, custom-designed smartwatch. It doesn't just track his heart rate. It is connected to the central nervous system of the entire building. The smartwatch was designed specifically for situations like this, ensuring the safety of VIP guests without causing a public panic. With his right index finger, Marcus taps a discrete red icon on the screen twice. It is a silent panic button, a direct, encrypted line to the head of his private security detail and the local police precinct, located just 2 blocks away. The signal goes out instantly. No alarms blare. No flashing lights go off inside the weight room. The execution is entirely silent. Every single camera in the free weight zone has just panned and locked onto Chad's exact position. The building's automated lockdown protocol has been quietly initiated. The electronic locks on the main exits have engaged. There is no escape. He is completely unaware of the digital snare that has just been tightened around his ankle. Marcus lowers his hand, resting it casually on his knee. He looks up at Chad, who is still holding the phone in his face, looking slightly confused by the lack of reaction. Marcus leans forward just a fraction of an inch. His voice is deep, calm, and completely devoid of fear. True strength doesn't need to shout. True strength sits quietly and lets the weak exhaust themselves. "Are you quite finished?" The words hang in the air, chilling and authoritative. Chad blinks, thrown off balance by the absolute lack of intimidation. "What did you say to me?" I said. "Are you finished making your little video?" Marcus repeats, his tone even and steady. "Because if you are, I suggest you enjoy your last few minutes in this building." Chad lets out a loud, forced laugh, looking around at the silent crowd to see if anyone is joining in. Nobody is. "My last few minutes? Do you have any idea who I am, you crippled freak? I spend more money at this club in a month than you probably make in a year. I am a black card member. I basically own this place." Marcus just shakes his head slowly, the smile returning to his face. "You don't own anything, Chad. And you are right about one thing. You definitely won't be spending any more money here." The heavy, glass double doors at the entrance to the VIP section suddenly swing open. The sudden rush of cold air from the lobby hits the sweaty room like a shockwave. 4 heavily armed police officers step through the entrance. They are flanked by the facility's massive head of security, a man named David who looks like a retired linebacker. Their heavy tactical boots thud against the black rubber flooring, a steady, rhythmic march that commands absolute silence. Chad's massive chest puffs out with arrogant pride. A smug, victorious grin stretches across his heavily bearded face. He genuinely believes his black card status has summoned a personal army to remove the trash from his presence. Finally, some decent service in this place. Chad sneers. He turns his phone to film the officers approaching, eager to capture his glorious victory for his live stream. Hey officers. Right over here. Gentlemen, I need this guy removed from the premises immediately. He is harassing me, disrupting my workout, and taking up a machine he has absolutely no business using. Get him out of my sight before I have to get physical. The head of security doesn't even blink at Chad. He walks straight past the giant mountain of muscle as if he doesn't even exist. David stops right in front of Marcus. He stands at perfect attention, his hands clasped firmly in front of him. He respectfully lowers his head and asks, "Is everything all right, boss?" "We got your silent alarm." The entire free weight room collectively gasps. The silence that follows is suddenly so heavy it feels like a physical weight pressing down on everyone's chest. Chad freezes completely. His brain is desperately trying to process the word boss, but the gears are violently grinding to a halt. Marcus slowly stands up from the padded seat of the leg press. He adjusts his prosthetic leg with a quiet, sharp, metallic click that seems to echo endlessly through the terrified room. Everything is completely under control. "David," Marcus says calmly, smoothing out his plain gray hoodie. "But I believe this gentleman's membership needs to be permanently revoked, effective immediately, across all of our 52 locations statewide." Chad's face drains of all color in a matter of seconds. He looks like he has just been struck by lightning. "Wait, what did you just say?" Chad stammers. His tough guy, alpha bro facade completely shatters into a million pathetic pieces. "Boss? What do you mean? Across all locations? Are you the owner of this place?" Marcus takes a slow, deliberate step forward, finally looking Chad dead in his panicked eyes. "I am. And you, Chad, are currently trespassing on my private property." The live chat on Chad's phone, which was previously cheering him on and flooding the screen with laughing emojis, suddenly turns into a chaotic blur. The comments shift to sheer panic, shock, and ruthless mocking laughter. Over 10,000 people are watching a toxic gym bully realize his entire life is over in real time. "Now, let's talk about exactly why you are leaving my building in handcuffs," Marcus continues. His voice echoes with the absolute, unshakable authority of a man who built an empire from the ground up. "You thought you were just making a funny little video for your followers, didn't you? Just a harmless prank to boost your fragile ego. But what you actually did was violate the Americans with Disabilities Act by publicly harassing a patron based on a physical impairment. And you didn't stop there. You also violated state wiretapping and severe privacy laws by broadcasting my face, without consent, to 10,000 people. You did this inside a private facility with a legally binding, strict no-recording policy that you signed when you bought that precious black card. You didn't just break the gym rules today, Chad. You broke federal law." One of the police officers steps forward, his face deadpan. He reaches to his tactical belt and pulls out a pair of heavy steel handcuffs. The metallic clinking sound is the most beautiful, satisfying music anyone in that room has ever heard. "Sir, I am going to need you to place your hands behind your back right now," the officer commands firmly. Chad starts backing away, his massive frame suddenly looking incredibly small, weak, and fragile. "No. Wait. This is a massive misunderstanding. I was just joking, bro. It was just a social experiment for TikTok. Come on, man. I pay 10 grand a year to be here. I am on influencer. You can't do this to me. It will ruin my sponsorships. I am sorry. Okay? I am so sorry." The sheer desperation and terror in his voice is absolutely pathetic. The exact same guy who was ruthlessly mocking a disabled man's physical trauma 2 minutes ago is now practically crying on his knees in front of a live audience. "Apology not accepted," Marcus replies coldly, his face completely devoid of pity. Because you are not actually sorry for what you did. You are only sorry that the disabled man you were bullying turned out to be the billionaire who signs the paychecks. The officers lunge forward and grab Chad by the arms. They forcefully twist his massive, tattooed biceps behind his back. The cuffs click shut with a satisfying, irreversible snap. "Hey, watch my phone." Chad screams as the expensive device slips from his trembling hand. It drops hard, shattering into pieces against a heavy cast-iron dumbbell on the floor. The live stream abruptly ends in a chaotic crash of cracked glass and darkness. "Your phone is currently being seized as digital evidence of a hate crime," the lead officer informs him. He gives Chad a firm, unyielding shove toward the exit doors. As Chad is frog-marched out of the weight room in cuffs, the crowd parts for him like the Red Sea. Nobody is looking away anymore. They are all staring right at him, their eyes filled with disgust and absolute satisfaction. And then, something truly incredible happens. A slow, steady clap starts from the back of the room. It is the older woman who was on the treadmill earlier. Then, the young, intimidated trainer joins in. Within seconds, the entire VIP section erupts into deafening, thunderous applause. They are not cheering for the police officers. They are cheering for Marcus. They are cheering for the underdog who stood his ground, kept his absolute cool, and let the bully completely destroy his own life. Chad is dragged through the glass doors, humiliated, utterly defeated, and facing serious felony charges and jail time. His lucrative social media career is dead forever. His fake, alpha male reputation is in absolute ruins. And he lost it all because he picked the wrong man to mess with on a random Tuesday morning. Marcus doesn't celebrate. He doesn't gloat or take a victory lap around the gym. He just quietly picks up his towel, wipes the sweat from his face, and sits right back down on the padded seat of the leg press machine. He has another heavy set to finish. Because a man of his word never lets anything, or anyone, interrupt his progress. Now, I want to pause the video right here, break the fourth wall, and talk directly to you. I want you to really search your soul and think about what you just watched. If you were standing in that gym today, surrounded by heavy iron and silent bystanders, and you saw a massive, arrogant influencer shoving a camera into the face of a disabled man just trying to get a workout in, would you have actually had the courage to step forward and slap that phone out of his toxic hand? Or would you have lowered your head, adjusted your headphones, and pretended it wasn't happening because you were terrified of going viral for the wrong reasons? Be completely honest with yourself. The bystander effect is a cowardly sickness in our modern society. It thrives on our collective silence and fear. If you believe it is time to stop letting these social media bullies terrorize our public spaces, if you believe that true strength is defending those who are being targeted by ignorance, leave a comment right now honoring those who never give up, those who fight silent, painful battles every single day without ever complaining. Type Black Excellence in the chat if you are ready to be the person who speaks up when nobody else will. And if you want to see more incredible stories where arrogant elites get exactly what they deserve, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now, because you absolutely do not want to miss our next video. Wait until you see what happens when a toxic corporate HR director falls into the exact same brutal legal trap she maliciously set for a pregnant employee. It is absolute, unfiltered karma perfection. Stay strong, and I will see you in the next one.